Texting and drinking is never a good idea. We've all done it, and we've all regretted it. The drunken texts you forgot you sent. Prospectors collected them in Texticated on Rock 107.
From the 248 in Detroit, Michigan. Just before you blacked out, you just kept saying, "Wasabi, Bobby, wasabi, Bobby," over and over again. Area code 318 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You told the fat guy and his chubby pal that we probably wouldn't be hanging out with Jupiter and one of its moons.
You hit send, and we hit the floor laughing in Texticated on Rock 107.
Area code 407, Sanford, Florida. You wanted to apologize to Chris Brown when you were on my computer. And from Overland Park, Kansas, area code 913. Yeah, but my nose is so stuffed, if I tried to do that to him, I'd suffocate.
Hey, we found him in your telephone in Texticated on Rock 107.
Silver Springs, Maryland, area code 240. Thanks for last night. It was amazing as always. Reply, what are you talking about? Reply back, you've got to be kidding me. And from Detroit again, area code 313. I'd like to feed your fingertips to the Wolverines.
Proof that booze and cell phones don't mix in Texticated on Rock 107.
Her name is Dawn. I made sure to book us a hotel room by Gobbler's Knob. On Groundhog Eve, we went to dinner in anticipation of the big morning that lies ahead. I asked Dawn, what entices you about seeing Phil? She said, it's almost romantic, and he burrowed safe in his hiding place. He feels the rustling outside that begins to stimulate him. Then he slips out of his hiding place to reveal himself. That gives me a warm feeling inside. Well, after hearing Dawn's definition of romance, I knew that Gobbler's Knob would be hopping that night. And I knew I must reply in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 132, and repeat after me. Number 1. Hey, Dawn, I have something in its hiding place. Care to stimulate it? Number 2. Boy, howdy, I can't wait to see the crack of dawn. Number 3. Reveal. Here, reveal this. I bet it'll give you a warm feeling inside. Soon after, as Dawn reveals the Punxsutawney Police to you, which takes away all your stimulation, and you come to terms with the facts that you'll never be able to see the crack of dawn, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly and good day.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Researchers say a great way to fall asleep is by listening to music by Billie Eilish or drinking a cocktail by Bill Cosby. Yesterday was a bad day for Punxsutawney Phil. Not only did he see his shadow, which supposedly means 6 more weeks of winter, but afterwards, the FBI found classified documents in his burrow. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft told CNN he wants Tom Brady to sign a 1-day contract and officially retire as a Patriot. This would mean a lot to Kraft since he's a big fan of things with happy endings.
Prospector ruins everything, even the news. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Let's hope they have a plan this time. Good morning, I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Beyonce has announced her Renaissance tour, and many are hoping it doesn't turn into a ticket-buying nightmare like, the last time there was a big tour with a female artist, Taylor Swift, or something like that. To address new plans for how tickets will be handled, let's join a live press conference with the new systems operator for Ticketmaster.
Okay, listen up. Tickets for Beyonce's Renaissance tour will go on sale separately for each city. The actual people actually attending the concert will be told when to go to a huge open field in their city. There'll be 3 sections of the field for expensive tickets, very expensive tickets, and extremely expensive tickets. This video demonstration shows how 3 helicopters will fly over the 3 sections and drop out tickets. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Grab what you want, you'll be charged on the way off the field. To avoid scalping, your picture will be taken. On concert night, if it ain't your mug, they ain't getting in. Listen, we can handle Taylor Swift, but the last thing we want is problems from Beyonce and Jay-Z. All right, that's all. Oh, and no refunds.
Tough right now. There's plenty of bad news. but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
At a high school basketball game in North Dakota last week, a 7th grader named J.J. Franks got the chance at a half-court shot worth $10,000 and drained it. Now, actually, it wasn't just a half-court shot. He had to make a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and then a half-court shot all in a row. The place went nuts. The high school players rushed out of the court, grabbed him, picked him up on their shoulders. JJ talked about it later and said he never expected it to go in, and he's saving the $10,000 for college.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to Loudmouth Yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here is what has me jacked. Well, the Super Bowl's coming up next weekend. And yeah, I could say Super Bowl in that context and don't have to worry about getting sued. Now, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you probably know I love football. My team, the LA Rams, won the Super Bowl last year and are paying the price now. I'll happily make that trade. The Eagles and the Chiefs are set for the big game on February 12th, and I've already been invited to more than a few Super Bowl parties. Thing is, I ain't going. I won't go. No, I'm not big on parties anyway, and I certainly don't want to watch the Super Bowl at a party. No matter how serious about the game the host is, there's always more party than Super Bowl at a Super Bowl party because people get invited, and many of them show up. Yeah, lots of people love Super Bowl parties, and that means many different people show up for many different reasons. You got the fans of the one team or the other, and they want to watch, cheer, and strut a little when their team's doing well. So they're going to do that loudly sometimes. All of that's great, except it creates distractions for me. I like to watch the Super Bowl in silence, intently. I like to hear the commentary, see all the replays. Hey, I even like to use my DVR to create my own replays over and over and over sometimes. Now, most people don't watch like that. I understand. That's why I prefer to watch at home. But then you get the people who are just there for the commercials. You know them, right? The kind of people who know who's playing, but they don't really follow football, but they love the cutesy commercials. All the funny ones, the long ones, the crazy special effect commercials. I love them all. Yeah, and they love to go on and on about the commercials during the game. Or you get the folks who don't care anything about anything except the halftime show. I can't wait for Rihanna. And they start in about 2 minutes into the second quarter. How much longer do you think? When's it going to be halftime? How come 8 minutes in football takes like 30 minutes in real times? OMG, shut up! I'm trying to watch the game! The worst, though, the absolute worst, are the people who don't care about any of it. They're just there because it's an event. Like New Year's or Halloween. They just want to be part of the fun. And they keep yammering on. And they're talking to you while you're watching the game. What's your name, man? What do you do for a living? You know what I do? I watch the Super Bowl. That's my job. And then I talk about it the next day. And since I don't jump up and down on the bed while you're working, how about you shut your mouth while I'm working? Enjoy your Super Bowl party, but really, please, leave me out of it. Trust me, I'm just going to ruin it on you anyway. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man!
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag #IFoundProspector and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107.
Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. All over the news this morning, Chinese balloons spying on the United States, flying over American airspace, over Montana, and all that stuff. Kind of creepy, kind of scary, right? Yeah, well, nobody's asked for it. Nobody really wants it, but you're going to get it anyway. It's inspired me for another Prospector's poorly sung parody, this time to the tune of Eye in the Sky by Alan Parsons Project. I apologize in advance. They put a balloon in the sky, looking at you. They can read your mind. They have a flying balloon to look at us fools. Yeah, they ain't flying blind. And they don't need to see anymore. Just know that they can read our minds.
I know. I can't sing. I'm sorry.
What's a yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
Slim Jims may not be healthy, but at least they're not lethal. A 40-year-old woman in Florida named Casey Breezel went into a gas station convenience store last Monday, and at some point she started shoplifting. Well, a female clerk was working and caught her, and there was an argument, and Casey made her way to the door, and the clerk ran over and confronted her. According to the police report, Casey pushed her, then struck the clerk with 2 Slim Jim beef sticks that she was stealing. Fortunately, and not surprisingly, the clerk wasn't injured. The police caught Casey, who admitted to the Slim Jim attack. She was arrested and charged with simple assault and theft.
Nominee number 2.
Well, you know what they say about one man's trash. Cops in Central PA had been getting reports of thefts for the past month or so. Someone was stealing garbage and the $6 payments being left for the garbage hauler. After receiving video from a trail camera, police located a vehicle through its registration number. As they approached the vehicle, its driver could be seen inside wearing a white mask with a trash bag on one of the seats. Cops arrested Chadwick Moriarty, who confessed to taking trash from a home on January 21st. He also said he took approximately $6 that was intended to pay for the waste removal company. A total of $435 and multiple bags of trash were taken. Moriarty allegedly dumped the trash and kept the money. He was charged with first-degree misdemeanor theft by unlawful taking, receiving stolen property, and scattering rubbish upon land.
Nominee number 3.
She can't fake it after all. When the blood-covered body of a young woman was found last August in a parked Mercedes in southern Germany, reports initially identified the victim as Shehabaran K, a Munich-based 23-year-old beautician with Iraqi roots. Even though some members of Shehabaran K's family identified the body, an autopsy the next day raised questions over its identity. The victim was eventually found to actually be Kajia O, an Algerian beauty blogger who was also 23. The woman, who officials initially believed died, sought out a lookalike on Instagram and murdered her with a friend in order to fake her own death. Investigators say the accused wanted to go into hiding because of a family dispute. The accused women allegedly picked the woman up at her apartment on the day of the murder, pulled over at a stretch of wooded area, made up a pretext for the victim to step outside of the vehicle, then stabbed her to death. Prosecutors allege the pair then lifted the victim onto the back seat of their Mercedes, drove to an area near the accused parents' house, parked the car, and waited for the parents to discover the body.
Nominee number 4.
This sounds like the plot of an 80s movie, which wouldn't actually happen in real life, but it did. 2 weeks ago, the assistant coach of a JV basketball girls team in Virginia entered the game herself as a player. Her name is Arlisha Boykins, and she's 22. She was impersonating a 13-year-old who was out of town and wasn't able to play. There's video online of Arlisha playing the game, and she was not worried about staying under the radar. She was balling. After word got out, she was canned by the school. Several other coaches, including the head coaches of the JV and varsity team, were let go, and the girls on the team decided to opt out of the rest of the season. The father of the 13-year-old who was being impersonated was not amused, saying coaches always preach about integrity. So I was shocked.
And the winner is
the woman who found a doppelganger, then murdered her, all to fake her own death because of a family issue. Congratulations, you're the Yambag of the Week. More nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day, weekday mornings, right here on Rock 107. Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.